Welcome to the Westminster Brief. It is Friday, the 9th of January 2026, and the political honeymoon for the government hasn't just ended, it has hit a brick wall. Today, we are breaking down a massive security crisis as a £28 billion black hole in our defence budget is revealed. We're also looking at the civil war brewing in Kent, where Reform UK, a party built on cutting taxes, is being accused of a massive betrayal as they hike council bills to the limit. Plus, two scathing reports from Parliament today claim the government is sidelining democracy and failing the most vulnerable in society. This is the deep dive you won't get on the evening news. Let's get into it. Our lead story today is a stark reminder that national security doesn't come cheap. Air Chief Marshal Sir Richard Knighton has reportedly delivered a bombshell to Downing Street. The Ministry of Defence is facing a £28 billion funding gap over the next 4 years. But how did we get here? For years, the UK has balanced on a knife edge of doing more with less. But with the escalating situation in Ukraine and the increasing complexity of modern warfare, from drones to cyber defense, the math no longer adds up. Keir Starmer's government is currently conducting a strategic defense review, but military insiders say this isn't just about trimming fat. We're talking about the potential cancellation of major naval projects or a significant reduction in troop numbers. At a time when the UK is discussing post-war troop deployments to secure Ukrainian borders, the idea that we are overstretched isn't just a political talking point, it's a national security risk. If the government doesn't find this money, the UK's special relationship with the US and our standing in NATO could be permanently diminished. Is the UK still a top-tier military power? Or are we just pretending? Now, let's move from the front lines of war to the front lines of your wallet. Reform UK, the party that shook the political establishment by promising to smash the tax state, is facing its first major identity crisis in local government. Kent County Council is the party's crown jewel, the shop window for what reform-style governance looks like. But today, that window is looking a bit cracked. The council has proposed a council tax rise of nearly 4%, with 4 other reform-led councils in places like Derbyshire and Lincolnshire pushing for the full 5% maximum. Critics are calling it a total betrayal of their election leaflets, which explicitly promised to freeze or cut taxes. Nigel Farage is now in a difficult position. Does he back his local councillors, who claim the bankrupt legacy of previous administrations left them no choice? Or does he distance himself to save his national reputation? This story matters because it tests whether Reform is a party of genuine change, or if they are doomed to fall into the same tax and spend patterns they spent years campaigning against. While councils struggle with budgets, the central government is being hauled over the coals for its conduct. 2 major reports were released today that should make every voter angry. First, the Public Administration and Constitutional Affairs Committee has told the government to comply with the Ministerial Code or rewrite it. The issue? Ministers are consistently announcing massive policies to TV cameras and newspapers before they ever tell Parliament. It might seem like procedural stuff, but it's about accountability. If your MP doesn't hear it first, they can't ask the questions you want answered. Even more disturbing is the report from the Public Accounts Committee regarding the DWP. They have slammed the unacceptably poor service for PIP, personal independence payments. We are seeing delays that are literally pushing people into poverty. The committee noted that improvements promised 3 years ago have evaporated. In a digital age, why is the department responsible for the most vulnerable still operating like it's the 1980s? On a different note, today marks a massive shift in how the internet is policed in the UK. New laws under the Online Safety Act are now officially in force. Cyberflashing, the sending of unsolicited nude images, is now a priority criminal offence. Dating apps and social media giants are now legally on the hook. If they don't use AI to proactively block this content, they face fines of up to 10% of their global revenue. It's a landmark moment for digital safety. Quickly, elsewhere. The government is reportedly planning a U-turn on business rates for pubs to prevent a wave of closures. Meanwhile, the Scottish government is staring down a £1 billion funding gap that could see major road projects like the A9 cancelled. It seems funding gaps are the theme of the year. So, what's the takeaway from today? January 9th. We are seeing a government and a political movement in Reform UK, both coming to terms with the brutal reality of the UK's finances. Whether it's tanks or trash collection, there simply isn't enough money to go around. Next week, all eyes are on the Scottish budget and the continued debate on the assisted dying bill in the Lords. What do you think? Should Reform UK be held to their tax promises regardless of the council's debt? And are you worried about the £28 billion defence gap? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe to the Westminster Brief and hit that notification bell. We're here every day to cut through the spin. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next brief.